Welcome back, JDM fam. Thank you guys for watching. In today's video, we're going to be changing the oil on my second gen lifted Honda CR-V. Pretty easy, quick process, but it does need to be done. We're almost to 200,000 miles, so this oil change is going to take us over 200,000. So make sure to subscribe and hit that like button, guys. Let's go. And I finally got an oil pan, guys. In the last video where I changed the oil on the CR-V, I didn't have an oil pan. I couldn't find it. We finally have one. All right, so I believe this is a 17. Let's see. Yeah, it feels like it's a 17. So first we're going to break this. All right, now that it's broken, let's bring the oil pan back here again. I'm gonna push in while unscrewing it and then pull out. All right, there we go. All right, guys, so we're gonna let this drain. While we wait for that, we're going to take off the oil filter on the CR-V. Let's move to the other side and take off the oil filter. All right, guys, so cap is cracked. Oil's still draining. It's just about done. Now, the oil filter is very difficult to get to from the front. What I usually do is go from the back of this passenger front wheel, and I can get it from there. It is pretty messy though, so you have to watch out with the second gen CR-V. I'll show you guys right now. Okay, so we're under the CR-V. There's the oil pan right there. Now right up here, guys, pointing at it right there, that's the oil filter. You can barely see it, but it's right there. I'm usually able to get it off just by hand. So what I usually do, I believe, it's been a while since I changed the oil in here. It's been like, I don't know, like 9 months. So what I usually do is just get my arm up here and just unscrew it through here. But one thing to mention, guys, is once it starts to get loose, you want to get the oil pan down under here because it does leak down and it will get all over the place down here. So you want to make sure that there's something right here to catch the oil that will drip down. All right, guys, oil filter's loose. That's exactly where it drains off of, right there. Basically, there's like a little spot where it just runs right off right there. It looks like it's like made to run off of there. So it comes off of the block a little bit right there. So you do want to clean this up when you're done, but here's the oil filter, guys. Should probably going to run some more, but let's get it out of here. It was on pretty tight, but I was able to take it off by hand. It did take a little bit of time, but let's get this thing off. Obviously, when you get the filter off, you want to make sure that the seal's on it and there's no seal on the block up there. So there we go, guys. This part's done. Okay, so it's been a while since I changed oil on the CR-V, guys, and forgot to mention that when it does run down here, that's the bulk of it, but it can run on the sides over here too. So it can drip a little bit over here, but it can also run on the other side of the subframe right there, drip on that side, but the bulk of it will come out right here. So now that that's done, guys, we're gonna let this drip a little bit more, let as much of it come out as possible, and then we're going to replace the oil filter. Now, I have been watching videos about pre-filling the oil filter. Obviously, I can't do that on here because it is sideways, but I was thinking about doing that on the Type R. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Should I pre-fill the oil filter for the Type R, or should I leave it empty and just start it up and let it fill that way? I'm leaning towards filling it, pre-filling it. So now, guys, I'm just going to rub a little bit of oil on the seal on here. Make sure the seal is not on the block like I mentioned. Make sure it's still on the previous oil filter. And put the oil filter back in. Put the drain bolt back in, and then we fill her up. Okay, so now the oil filter's back in. You can see it right there. What I like to do is, obviously, when you have oil on your glove from putting some oil on the seal, what you want to do is just tighten it. I like to tighten it up until it's pretty snug, but my hand starts slipping on it with oil on it. That way you know it's pretty tight, but it's not overly tightened. You can still take it off by hand. Also, when this is all done, I put the bolt back in. I'm going to wipe down the subframe and the block back there and around the oil filter, make sure all the oil is off, all the excess oil. That way it is clean and I know if it's leaking when I start her back up. So now I'm going to take the drain bolt out. I'm going to wipe it down with a paper towel, clean it off, make sure there's no metal shavings or anything on it, and then replace it with the new washer, which is right here. You definitely want to replace these washers when you change the oil. That way the oil doesn't leak and you know that it's going to be sealed. Okay, drain bolt's back on. Basically what I do, guys, is snug it with the wrench. Basically just turn it very slow until it stops pretty much, and then give it a nice little push just to crush that crush washer. Make sure that it's tight. So you definitely don't want to go too hard on this, but you do want to make sure that it's snug. Another thing I did want to mention, guys, got this oil pan at Walmart for like $10. It's a 10-quart oil pan. Definitely does the job for my 2nd gen CRV, and it's actually pretty good. I was worried that it wasn't deep enough maybe to hold all the oil in, like maybe it would splash out or whatever, or run off. It worked really well, guys, so definitely a good option if you are looking for an oil pan, a really cheap oil pan, if you just need something really quick or you need to upgrade your oil pan. So now, guys, it's time to fill it up. The CRV says that it takes, I believe it was 4.4 quarts of oil, so you will have a little bit left over. We're gonna fill it up. We're gonna go really slow, probably gonna go from 4 quarts and just go really slow from there. All right, now let's get some oil back in here. She definitely needed it, guys. If you guys noticed the oil, it was dirty. And now that it's filled up, we're going to start the car, run it for a few minutes, make sure there's no leaks. After that, we're going to shut it down. We're going to let it sit for a few minutes while the oil drops back down to the oil pan, recheck, and then if it's low, just top it off a little bit. That's about it. That's how you change your oil in a 2nd gen CRV. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you guys on the next video.